Good evening once again, book lovers of the internet. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I am BookNerd0802, and in this video I am going to be reviewing the first volume of Fire Punch by Tatsuki Fujimoto. I finally found enough time to finish reading this one. It consists of about 200 pages. I rated it a 4 out of 5 stars, and I am going to be chatting about it for the next 5 minutes or so. Now, as you can see in the top corner of the manga volume, there is a warning for explicit content, a bit of a parental advisory there. And I wanted to start the video by letting you people know that there will be some topics in this video which might disturb some viewers, so you have been warned. Click away if you think this is going to make you uncomfortable. So this was way weirder than I expected, considering that it's called Fire Punch. It was recommended to me by a friend of mine called Matteo Schwirap. Shout out to him if he is watching. Let me know in the comment section down below. And I do not regret immersing myself into the world of Behendorg. Um, as you might know from a previous video I made, I have another 3 volumes following this one, volumes 2, 3, and 4, and I will be reviewing them accordingly in the next couple of days. So, it's already been a week since he explained most of the plot to me, and I really took interest in that. I wanted to see what Tatsuki Fujimoto had to say as well. The same person who wrote and created Chainsaw Man, he painted Chainsaw Man as well, and I thought that this one was written directly in English by Tatsuki Fujimoto, um, because at the back over here he mentions that Fujimoto's follow-up series, Fire Punch, is the creator's first English language release. I do not quite know how I misunderstood that, but yeah, I just thought that he wrote this in English straight away, but he wrote it in Japanese and it was translated into English by Christine Dashiell, I think. That is probably how you say the name. So, just to summarize, this is about a man called Agni. There will be spoilers ahead, so stay tuned for those as well. Click away if you haven't read or watched this yet. So, Agni is blessed. There are these people called blessed in the world of Behendorg and the Fire Punch, and his superpower is that he can regenerate himself. So, for instance, if his arm is chopped off, he can regrow it within a couple of seconds, and he tells his sister Luna to chop it off over and over again so that he can feed all the members in his village. Now, his sister has the same ability as he does, but she takes longer to regenerate. She takes about an hour to do so. So, eventually, Agni is set on fire by the person who destroyed their whole village, and the fire never dies out. He spends years in agony until he learns to control and divert the pain accordingly, and there are indeed rather terrible themes in this first volume, as are rape, slavery, pedophilia, and incest. As a matter of fact, Agni and Luna, who are brother and sister, they even plan on having kids together since they're the last healthy members of their tribe. But this does not happen because Luna dies from the fire, which put Agni in pain for several years. And this series does in fact come with an explicit content sign on the cover, so you have no excuses. Agni's sister, as I mentioned, has regenerative powers too, but hers are just not as quick, and she in fact dies, um, and she too suffers, but not for several years. Just, I'm pretty sure she dies on the same day that she is set on fire. And now with regeneration is something which I have come across on several occasions. It can always get sticky when an author decides to write about regeneration, because with Tomiya, for instance, a character Junji Ito came up with, whenever she is split, her split parts form an entire body and she basically consumes the entire world. And basically Deadpool does the same thing. There was also an instance with Peter Griffin in Family Guy, a bit of a cutaway where that kind of thing happened as well. So it can get sticky when the theme of regeneration is brought up. But with Agni, this is apparently not the case. I don't think that there are several Agnis, even though he is beheaded and his head shot at multiple times. The rest of his body does not regrow another head, and he doesn't just go about his day. Um, so Agni's entire village, which mostly consists of elderly people, is set on fire because Doma, who becomes Agni's biggest enemy very quickly, and his crew think that they are cannibals since all the people are consuming um, Agni's arm, since they have no other way of finding meat or anything of substance to consume. And yeah, because Doma's people and Doma think that this is a cannibalistic tribe, they just set everything on fire. Doma is also a blessed character, and once he sets something on fire, that fire will remain until all the fuel which the fire basically runs on is destroyed completely. And one thing which confused me about this so far is how male characters often look like females. This was the case with both Doma as well as another character called Sun. I originally thought they were women. Eventually, they were um, described as men and referred to as men, but that was just a bit confusing. I am not sure as to whether Fujimoto does this intentionally or whether he hasn't learned quite how to distinguish yet. And a kid is also forced to drink piss. Some characters are expected to have intercourse with dogs. It's absolutely vile to bring up even in a video, but it's definitely a breath of fresh air since these are not the sorts of monstrosities which I am accustomed to reading about, apart from perhaps in Blood Meridian where things are even worse in the world Cormac McCarthy develops. Um, so yeah, I mean, it will definitely help with my creative writing process. It will inspire my own novels, although these themes will definitely not be included, just to give me ideas, I suppose. But yeah, this one also reminded me of Avatar: The Last Airbender and My Hero Academia, since several characters have powers, and it also forms part of the dystopian genre since it is set in our world a few centuries from now in the future. In fact, apparently the 22nd century is spoken about as well for a couple of panels in the graphic novel in the manga volume, and I could also relate this to the Hunger Games in a way, considering how there is a clear social hierarchy and how people are free to abuse others as they please, and how the abuse only escalates if the blessed are taken in as prisoners because their powers um, are put to use to help the most prominent city, but the prisoners suffer as a consequence of this. For instance, Sun has a power where he can generate electricity, and he is forced to generate electricity for the whole city. I am hoping that the revenge portion of the story is done well in the following volumes. There are 7 to go now, and that Fujimoto does not simply rely on gore to keep the readers entertained, because that would very quickly lose my respect. And there have been authors before who have done this, and I stopped reading anything by them straight away. Um, but that is all I had to say about Fire Punch Volume 1 by Tatsuki Fujimoto. If you enjoyed this one, make sure to leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. Take a look at the rest of my content because why not? It's absolutely amazing. And I will see you in the next one, hopefully very, very soon. Bye, guys.